Hey guys, Eddie the Magic Monk here, doing another Bootstrap tutorial. Today we're going to experiment with styling the navbar at the top. So you can see that right now it is a very boring-ish white background with black text. Now, if you want to change it to the other default color just to see whether it suits, it's actually very easy. And that is, you can simply go to where your navbar is and change the navbar default class. Change the word default to inverse. Inverse. And let's see what that does to our page. So if you save it, upload it, refresh the page, you will see that it turns into a black background with white text. So if you want to start off with that one, if you think that it suits your page better, then that is the first thing you can change. Otherwise, we're going to go back to navbar default and carry on with the tutorial. So the first thing we're going to look at is when you hover your mouse over the text, you can see that the thickness or the color of the text briefly changes, but it's barely visible. So we're going to make that more obvious. So which element do we need to change? Well, if you guys have a look at the link for the About Me text and the My Hobbies link, where is it situated? So firstly, it's sitting inside this navbar-nav class. So let's put that into our CSS styling, which we had already typed some up previously. So here's all our styling, and let's just put a bit more space and let's type it at the bottom. And what we're going to do is type in the class navbar nav. So let's just copy that and paste it in the styling. Put a dot in front of it because it's a class. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is inside this navbar nav. Okay, we've got a li tag. So let's put a space bar and li, meaning the li inside navbar -nav class, the tag li, and inside li we've got the tag anchor. Okay, and then when we hover over it, that is when we want to change the color. So we need to use the colon hover selector. Okay, and then let's talk about what happens when we hover over it. What do we want the color of the text to be? So let's change it to a more obvious color. Okay, so instead of just making it black or whatever, let's pick a super obvious color that we've put our mouse over it. So let's just go, obviously this is not going to look good because I'm just picking out of the fly, but let's just go a deep sky blue color, and then let's save that and see what happens when you hover your mouse over it. Refresh the page. Okay, and when you hover over it, and you can see that nothing happens. So what is wrong? What's wrong is that there is some other CSS that is determining the color of links when you hover over it. So to make sure that this overrides that, you're going to put exclamation mark important. Okay, so you're going to save and upload that, refresh it, And now you can see when you hover your mouse over the text, it becomes the deep sky blue color that we're talking about. Okay, so that makes it a lot easier to look at. Now, if you wanted to, you can also change the background for when you hover over it. So because the text is blue, I might change my background to something else. So let's just go background color. And let's just change it, try changing it to something else, maybe that one. And again, we need the important text, save, refresh, and let's see if it updates that background. Yes, it does. Okay, so that's a bit extreme, but I think you guys get the idea behind it. Now, the next thing we want to change is you can see that when we've got the scroll spy going down the page, this tracks where we are on the page, and it's not very obvious. It's got a little gray-ish background. It's not very obvious. So to make that more obvious, we're basically going to copy and paste this. Okay, but what is the difference between when we hover our mouse over it and this little gray bar? Well, the difference is, firstly, we don't have to hover our mouse over it, so let's get rid of that. And then the second difference is that the list currently, whatever the gray bar is, wherever the gray bar is right now, that is the active element. So let's put here dot active, because it's the active list item that we want to change the color for. So let's save that, and let's refresh the page, and you can see that the active box is now in black, which is sort of conflicting with what I'm hovering my mouse over, but I will let you guys play around with that. As long as you get the idea, it's probably fine. Okay, let's see what else we can do. Now, I guess the main thing that we want to talk about is how to just change the background color of this whole navbar. So you can see that this whole navbar is underneath the nav tag inside the class navbar. So you can just insert a CSS. Let's put it at the bottom. Let's insert another CSS just called .navbar. Okay, and inside here, if you change your background color, background color, that should change the background color of this whole thing. So let's just make it crazy. Let's just go blue violet. Okay, and let's see what happens. Save, refresh, and you can see that the whole background color just goes violet. Okay, some crazy stuff. There's a bit of a white space down here, and by getting rid of that white space, what do we have to do? Well, there's actually a little bit of a border. Okay, the navbar has a bit of a border, so to set the border to 0, that is when you will get rid of that little white line. So the white line is gone. Or you might say, well, look at the text. The text is too hard to see. We want to be able to change that, don't we? Okay, so how do we change the text? Well, let's change it here first and see if that changes it. Color is white. Does that change it? Refresh. No, it doesn't change it. Why doesn't it change? Because this text is actually a link. It is not normal text. So you're saying change the text to white, but we want to change the link color. So what we need to do is we need to do similar to what we did above. Okay, with this styling, let's copy and paste that one. But instead of li.active, we're changing the ones that are not active. So let's just get rid of that. Okay, so it doesn't have the active, and we can just change it to color is white. Okay, and then if I save that, refresh the page, color is white. Oh, anytime that it doesn't work, just put important after it, because that will overwrite anywhere else that styles the link. Okay, so now you got the white. So the list element is white, but not where it says Magic Monk. So Magic Monk is inside Navbar header. Okay, so let's just put that in here as well. So other than LIA, let's put a little comma and let's put in dot Navbar header, and Navbar header, it is a link as well. It is a link, so let's just put A there as well, and let's refresh, and you can see it's turned into white. So that's basically how you style the Navbar. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.